Hey guys, I'm S.Dan Wolf. Welcome back to the channel. Man, I think, this whole thing, I just have to give a major shout out to Cool Beans McGee. It just, like I said before, when we were talking about this a couple days ago, just the whole thought of, steampunk and all of this that we have going on popped into my head just by finding his workshop creations. And it was just like a light bulb went off. I'm like, I have the new land. I have the last land. And I also have to give a shout out to my buddy Drew Cretchfield. He actually tweeted me when I was kind of working around, kind of trying to figure out what I knew I wanted to do, like a people mover type of ride. But I just kind of had, one of the track rides in as just a placeholder. And Drew actually tweeted me and said, hey man, I've got a skin for a track ride I think would fit perfect with this. And you just saw at the beginning of that cinematic, it has that steampunk vibe like down perfectly. And I am just so grateful for both of those guys for kind of helping spur this journey and, really kind of making a really tough decision. Like, what are we going to do in this last little area? And essentially turning it into, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like, I have to make this happen. And that's just kind of where, where this land started. And you guys can tell in the comments, like, it's funny with Wilderness Springs, no decision is made lightly. You can make absolutely everybody lose their minds, or collectively, everybody can be like, yes, I didn't know we needed this, but I'm on board with it. And I think that's where the steampunk vibe is with Wilderness Springs. I think there's a lot of people that are worried that with a steampunk land, the park would lose kind of like its wilderness nature roots. And I don't think we have to do it like that. I think we can make it to where the steampunk land essentially ties in with the wilderness. And, we can make it to where like the steampunk and the entities within the land use the land but don't abuse it. And I think I think we can put some pretty cool twists on that. And also, when we were talking about kind of developing the land and thinking about rides and stuff, I went in and found an old piece of concept art that I've had for years from Tony Baxter, Discovery Bay. It was like a land that Disney was envisioning, was gonna build, and it just never happened in the capacity that I think the Imagineers and Tony Baxter and those guys particularly, it just didn't end up happening like they envisioned. I found that piece of concept art on Pinterest like years ago. This is probably the third or fourth time in a Planet game I have created Hyperion's hangar. And I think this is gonna be the most useful version of any of these hangars I've done. Simply for the fact that I think I want to use this as almost like the launch coasters station at the back of the land. So the Hyperion, airship hangar is actually going to be the coaster station that your coaster back here is going to launch out of, and then kind of, encompass the back side of the land over here. And I think this can work out really, really cool. I want to incorporate, definitely more water. I want to incorporate path interaction. There's just so much potential I think we can do back here. I've even kind of pushed the land back a little more towards Bass Pro. The actual theme park side of the property has been given more land back that way. I think as far as Yan's boat ride goes, I think you're right when a lot of people suggested incorporate that ride into the steampunk land, and I think you're right. I think that whole ride and what we're trying to do, getting that Tokyo Disney Sea Aquatopia feel, I think it makes perfect sense for that ride to essentially be the steampunk land's water ride, like premier water feature ride. And a couple of you guys were suggesting really good names. I really like Outpost something. I don't know what number I'll go with. I could like go with like, you know, like Easter egg, maybe my birth year, and call this land like Outpost 87. I think that could be pretty cool. And, you know, not like, you know, like, you know, I told you like long names kind of aggravate me nowadays with theme park lands and worlds. Like I am an Enchanted Forest guy, Wildwood Grove, Timber Valley, what's one of the Jukebox Junction. I am a simple names guy. I don't need like S-Dan's Magical Fart Turd and you know, Crazy Adventure Land. I like the simple names, and I think something for this land like Outpost 87 is simple and mysterious enough just to be like, what is going on back here? Like, we got to go back to the back of the park. They're opening up a steampunk land back there. It's going to have a launch coaster and a water ride and maybe a flat ride, but it's like back there past Legend of Thunder Falls and Timberwolf Revenge. It's like way at the back of the park. New land that's going to be opening up. And I am just really excited about this. I know you guys are thinking, man, like, dude, there is so much you haven't finished in this park and you're starting another land. And I just, like I told you guys, you'll just have to put up with that with me. That's just my brain. I skip around, but I think even with the skipping around, we are doing such quality work right now and getting so many cool ideas out there off of the drawing board and physically into the world of Wilderness Springs. And it's almost one of those things where I was like, if I don't do this right now, I might not come back and do it. This could be shelved, and who knows what I'll do back here. But it was just, I think that, like for me, the steampunk vibe just clicked. And here I was adding some birds, like some ravens to Phantom Manor, like you all were suggesting. But yeah, like the land, as far as the land goes, it's in its very premature infancy stage. I am, you know, still fleshing out some ideas, thinking about the layout. You know, just thinking about path design and shops and souvenirs and what kind of restaurant are we going to do back here. And I just think this is all flowing very organically, very natural. Still having fun. Like that's such a weird thing about Wilderness Springs 2.0. I do not feel like I'm building for YouTube anymore necessarily. It's like I told you all, like anybody that wants to get into content creation, play the game and have fun, and the sharing it with people and the YouTube experience will be an added bonus. And the audience can tell, like you guys can 100% tell when we are making content just to get a video out, and when we're making something we're really proud of, and you're like, man, I bet you this guy sat down here for 2 or 3 hours getting this together. And I think everybody can tell. Everybody knows. You can feel it, you can hear it, you can sense it, the energy we put off. I'm big on energy and, you know, gauging energy in the room. And I just think that the product that is Wilderness Springs right now and the attention that we're attracting, it's all because everything's come together so organically. Wilderness Springs is not trying to be anything it's not. We are just, we have our own little corner of Planet Coaster 2 over here, and it is just, it's just working out really good right now. Even Leaf was saying, like when he handed me the Atlantis file, he's like, man, he's like, I envy your pace of video release right now. He's like, I just don't know how you have this much Planet Coaster 2 in you. And I'm like, you know, Leaf, in my defense, I have been making them videos like speculating about this game for 5 years and kind of promising everybody that I wouldn't let them down when this game released. So I'm just trying to be true to my word. And I am just, like I said, guys, I've waited for, half a decade for this game to come out. And I just feel like I'm making the best of it. I am just, I'm having fun, and the YouTube is just, and hanging out with you guys and the feedback and the DMs. And it is just a really, really fun added bonus to just let you guys come in here a couple times a week and just see what kind of weirdness I'm into. Like, we're literally just playing a theme park Lego game, just a 3D modeler. And it's just, it's so cool. Like, we're rolling up on 26,000 people, and it is just, I'm just having a blast. I am having more fun on YouTube now than I ever have since I started it, like back in 2014. And it's just weird that I'm having more fun in the game than I've ever had, and I'm having more fun with YouTube than I ever had. And it's just thanks to you guys for coming back and hanging out and us consuming the content. Now, yes, of course, if I made a video and it only got like 200 views, that would be kind of disheartening. That would make me kind of question what I'm doing and am I wasting everybody's time? But with the direction the channel's going and the views and the retention and the comments, we are definitely, I think, filling a niche in the Planet Coaster 2 community, and we have just got a really fun following, since the start of the year. So we're going to keep it up. I'm still playing, still having a blast, and still very, very much enjoying interacting with you guys and seeing your guys. Sometimes, you guys will put out speculation and I already know what's in there. So it's always fun to come back and see your comments on what ended up happening, or did I catch you off guard, or were you not expecting this? That's always fun. But anyways, let's jump into the real time, and I'll yak for a few more minutes and just kind of give you all some general direction on how I want the land to go. So let's hop over real quick. All right, guys, and Hyperion back there, isn't that going to just have a really cool presence kind of back there at the back of the land? And the biggest thing is, like, I was thinking how important this sight line would be as you're walking into the land underneath the cave and all of this. And, Hyperion is just has such a presence back there, like essentially being the weenie of the land back there. And it's what's going to pull you back there to that ride. And we've got Drew's trolley going by as you're coming into the land. Just so much kinetic energy going on before you actually even get to the portal. And then you have Hyperion back here, docked in its hangar. I just think this is going to be a killer piece for the back of this land, when we get it done. And, like I said, with the launch, we'll either maybe have the launch maybe coming out like beside the airship. I might open up that wall and have the coaster just, blast out of the side of the hangar, and it will kind of encompass all of this little area. And like I said, I could even have it turn and have some path interaction over here as well. I think that would be pretty cool. My biggest thing is I don't want a bunch blocking this view from the hangar as you walk into the land. And eventually the construction walls will be down and there'll be little shops and a little main street area, and of course a lot of theming and trees, flat rides, restaurants, shops. Drew's trolley will have a little station here right when you come into the land. I'm thinking, like I said, Yan's water ride, this is probably going to be filled in, and the water ride will essentially be brought forward, and it will kind of have its own little area right here in the corner of the land. And then Legend of Thunder Falls show building will be hidden kind of behind this behind this little cliffside and those trees. So all of the indoor section of Legend will be kind of over here on this side of that ridge. And like I mentioned, still a little more room to play with. We can get rid of this pond if I have to. This can kind of be pushed out a little further into Bass Pro's area, which is pretty much just parking lot and open land right now. But yeah, and also too, like my buddy Casey was saying, we might end up getting rid of the campground over there if I have to. Well, the cabins, might end up removing them and putting the condo on this side of the street if I have to make more room for Legends, or if more of the steampunk land kind of has to encroach over here on, Willow Grove's little shopping area. So this is, it's kind of new and would be very easy to move over to that side of the highway as like a little condo over there. Might even look better anyway, because kind of sticks out right here being like a residential area plopped between commercial and a theme park area. So it might look better over on this side of the highway and kind of on the creek as a standalone condo apartment complex. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I am just pumped to get more done on this. And of course, whatever I get done between now and Saturday morning. So, I'm going to call it quits here in a little bit. It's 9:30. So we've got tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday morning. Usually Saturday at the Springs is out by lunchtime. Whatever I get done between now and Saturday morning, we'll get it updated and on the workshop, and you guys will have your first in-game look at Outpost 87. And look at, like, you can even see it like from all the way back here. That hangar is just so cool and just has such a presence back there, like I said, pulling people to that last land. And I have to give another shout out to Plastic Swans. I found another building of hers that I thought fit really well with Main Street, and that is her Looney Balloons facade. So I've got it in here kind of connected to her little vegan Whole Food Harvest restaurant. So I thought that Looney Balloons, even coming from this way, that Looney Balloons just looks awesome. So yeah, you guys have to let me know what you think. Some of you guys were saying that this tree seems a little too large for your all's taste. Like it's just kind of blocking too much view. Some people were saying maybe shrink it a little bit. And some of you guys were saying maybe try out some different trees. But I think shrinking it helps. It is, I mean, look at this. It is kind of large and kind of intrusive for such a busy area. But, shrunk down like that doesn't look bad. That looks like a nice little tree that they left like during the Main Street construction. So, yeah. Oh, the crows over Phantom. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Kind of having them just looming over the manor. Very, very spoopy. I like it. What else can I go over with you all? Oh, lighting package. We have not looked at lighting in a little bit. I definitely need to get that taken care of for you guys, because definitely not everything is lit yet. Main Street's pretty good. It's got a good little glow to it. I know a lot of you guys were like it. You were saying you would like to see the water a little more lit and just a little more prominent. But, we can look at that. I think it looks pretty cool right now. Going into Grizzly Valley, Grizzly Peak Expedition, it's lit pretty well. I actually changed the layup of it a little bit, extended the layup and did a couple more turns. Actually, I go back into the mountain right here, and so we'll need to get in there and get that themed up. Here it comes. I thought it ended a little abruptly, So I went in and added just a couple more turns, slowed it down a little bit. Like you can see, this last little turn kind of really kind of woes everything up a little bit. Then you kind of come down into this brake trim, and at least they're not, you know, going 180 miles an hour into the station. So yeah, I need to get that lit up back there. You guys will be able to check out the new layout this weekend. And a couple people were saying, why haven't we done a POV of this yet? That's why. I'm just still kind of tweaking the layout and figuring out, you know, some different things that I felt we could, you know, do better back here. And I think this is a good first step, kind of prolonging the ride just a little bit. But the main thing is getting it slowed down and woed up a little more before we go into that final little station area. And yeah, that is your mid-week update. I don't think, yeah, none of this. This is whatever McGee has. Yeah, definitely got to work on some lighting packages here. And of course, Hyperion is not lit at all. So we'll need to get over there and kind of get that messed with. Oh, you guys were asking me about that screenshot that I put on Reddit a while ago. I think if you're wanting a shot like that, if you're like wanting that more realistic shot, I want to tell you I almost want to tell you that was a late afternoon shot. I see this is very early morning. I want to say the sun was coming from, I want to say it was a setting sun with clouds on. So let's just go to the other end of the spectrum. This is right at lunchtime, 11 o'clock, 12. I want to say it was around this, guys. See how the sun is kind of over there, kind of like setting for the evening. Very, very late afternoon. Because if you do one more click, it gets pretty dark on that side, on the wilderness side of the mountains. So I'm thinking if you want a shot like that and you're playing on this particular map, 1500 and cloudy is your best bet. I think this is like the most photorealistic shot of Wilderness Springs. 1400, you can argue, lights the park more, and I would agree with you. It definitely brings out, you know, more detail. But the 1500 just it's a little more moody than, you know, 1400. Clear's okay. Clear kind of brings a little a bluish hue kind of back to the world. Let's try clear at 1400. See, clear at 1400 looks good, but it almost makes it a little blue. Whereas you can see if we go back to cloudy, see how that blue goes away, slowly seeing it disappear. I think cloudy is your best bet for aerial photography in Planet Coaster 2. And then of course you've got sunny. Makes things a little, you know, raises the saturation a little bit. Still cool. Still, you know, I like it better than the blue. Let's see, sunny at 1500. Another good shot. Like I said, things definitely, you know, you're going a little darker with that. And then the late evening, still cool even with sunny. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But anyways, guys, I know I've rambled on enough. I'll jump on out of here. I will catch you guys in the next video. Let me know down below what you think about our new Steampunk land. And I think I'm going with Outpost 87, and I'll get some signage worked up for that. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm going to play with some more lighting. See you guys.